When will you be ready to exercise? When is the best time to exercise? When will you get the best result? How often should you put your body under pressure to get healthy, fit and strong and stay that way for the rest of your life? And it's a much argued conversation. People talk about exercising every day. Some people talk about 3 times a week. Some people talk about 150 minutes per week. Doesn't matter how or when you put that 150 in, as long as you get 150. There's some people who talk about strength training every day. There's some people who talk about strength training once a week. How do you know when you are ready to exercise? And if you go to the one and only source, which is not social media or some expert or an influencer or an exercise physiologist or a coach or a trainer, because nobody knows your body better than you. So when are you ready to exercise? When is it a good time for you? Not when somebody else tells you. So the only true source of understanding how the human body works, of course, is anatomy and physiology. We all have the same anatomy and physiology, but we all have different lifestyles and we have different likes and dislikes. So for somebody to tell you when you should exercise and when it's going to be good for you or best for you, I find very perplexing. How would somebody know? So the first thing is, have you learned your anatomy and physiology? You've got to live in your body for the rest of your life. Do you know how it works? Do you know what it's made of and how the energy systems work to give you energy to do the things that you need to do? How do all the systems in your body work together effectively to give you a body that can literally live your life to the max, do everything that you need to do? And the 4 questions that I always ask: how to make sure that you've got a stack of energy, perform at your best, look good in the mirror and like the way your body feels to touch, and how do you make sure that you get the results that you want from your exercise program, from your eating plan? And how could anybody else know that better than you? So why not learn your anatomy and physiology, because you've got to live in your body. That's the study of the house that you live in for the rest of your life. Now, this is how simple it is though. If you exercise and you haven't recovered, so you're not at 100%, then how can you put in 100% effort? So the really important thing is to put in 100% effort, of course, because that gives you a 100% result. And I'm just going to give that side note. If you put in a 50% effort, how could you possibly expect a 100% result? So when you are ready to put in 100%, then of course that's the best time. So when is that? And of course you've got to be fully recovered from your last workout. And this is where it becomes for me, very perplexing that somebody could tell you when to train. Because everybody has a different lifestyle, and that when you're ready to train is determined by, of course, how much sleep do you get? Do you sleep deeply? Are you hydrated? Do you eat healthy food? Are you under stress? How much effort did you put in your last workout? There's a whole heap of questions to be asked before somebody can tell you you should be training 3 times a week. And I think that, and this is just for me very simple, when do you feel like exercising? Now there's a bit of a side note there, because if you're a lazy person, if you're undisciplined, if you don't like to exercise, you'll probably come up with 1,000 excuses why you don't feel like it. But your body is ready when you are fully recovered. So if you haven't exercised for 5, 10, 15 years, you are fully recovered from your last workout. Isn't that awesome? So you've got to be fully recovered. Now that means when you, for example, lift something, you will put micro tears in your muscle fibers. So you have to recover from the workout. Your central nervous system has to recover, your endocrine system has to recover, your muscles and bones have to recover, ligaments, tendons and joints. Then you have to regenerate from the last workout. So it's not just recover, but you have to make sure that everything is back to 100%. And then there's this great term called supercompensate. So you've got to be stronger than last time. Now if you don't give your body time to recover, to regenerate and to supercompensate, then if you don't give yourself that time, then when you go to train again, you won't be training at 100%, which means you can't put in 100% effort, which means you won't get 100% result. So when is that? And again, it's for me a very common sense, logical answer. You should want to. And I'm not talking about somebody that's lazy and undisciplined and can't be bothered and doesn't want to train. If you're the person that loves to exercise, surely you should only exercise when you feel like you want to, not have to, boring, don't feel like it, don't want to go. Could that be your body telling you that you're not recovered yet? So I don't do anything unless I'm really excited about it. And of course you don't have to live like me, but I get excited to get puffed because I know what it's going to do for my body. I get excited to lift heavy because I know what it's going to do for my body. But if I go to lift something heavy and I haven't recovered from my last workout, and you can tell pretty quickly, you do 1 or 2 repetitions and you go, wow, this is going to be really hard, I give myself another day. Another day to regenerate and recover and to super compensate so that I can go at 100% effort. Now that's for strength training, and that could be 5 days, it could be 7 days, it could be 15 days, depending on how hard you train, depending on your recovery and nutrition and how well you sleep. So you need to know when it's right for you, and if you're going to lift something heavy, and I'd rather go outside and lift a log or a rock. If I pick something up off the ground, I like to call them alive lifts, not deadlifts. If I pick something up off the ground and I can do it in 10 seconds, and when I say 10 seconds, I can do 2, 3, 4, 5 repetitions in 10 seconds, and I can't do any more, then I know I've had a great workout. If I can keep going past my 10 seconds, then obviously the weight's too light, so I need to get a heavier weight. That's pretty simple. How do you know that you're getting stronger? You can lift heavier. That's all pretty simple. But the beautiful thing about that strength training, you've got to let your muscles recover. But with Huffy Puffy, with getting really fit, you just have to wait till your heart rate goes back to resting. If you try and sprint again before your heart rate is recovered and is back to normal, back to resting, then you won't be able to put in 100% effort, so you can't get 100% result. I just think that's such common sense. So when are you ready? What's your resting heart rate? And that's, you just measure that for a minute first thing in the morning when you're fully rested. And let's pick a round number. Let's say it's 60. Your resting heart rate is 60 beats per minute. So now you go at 100% effort for 10 seconds. You go as hard as you possibly can for 10 seconds. Your heart rate's going to go right up. When it comes back down to 60, now you can go again. Now that's a beautiful example of how fit you are as well, because the lower your resting heart rate, the fitter you are. So if your current resting heart rate is 60, and next time you check it it's 59, and the next time you check it it's 55, and the next time you check it it's 50, you know you're getting fitter. The second component there is get puffed at 100% effort and measure how long it takes you to get back to resting. And the fitter you are, the shorter that time frame will be. So how often can you get puffed? And this is where it gets really exciting. People say to me, how often should I exercise? And I think it's a really simple answer. How often do you want to feel good? So I don't like to call it exercise, and I've been sharing that for a long time now, because most people think that exercise is long and boring. Well, 10 seconds is as close to 0 as you can possibly get. It gives you the best result in the shortest period of time in the safest way possible, because it's only 10 seconds. So throughout the day, because I want to feel good all the time, I want to have a brain that's thinking clearly, I want to be a solution finder, I want to be a critical thinker, I want to have a stack of energy, I want to feel good all the time. So multiple times throughout the day, I will punch the bag, skip rope, jump squat, sprint on the spot, go as hard as I possibly can for 10 seconds, and then go and do it again in 15 minutes or an hour or 2 hours or 10 minutes or 5 minutes. It doesn't matter as long as your heart rate's back to normal. And that way you're constantly injecting your body with this huge spark of enthusiasm and excitement. I like to call it the 3 E's: energy, enthusiasm, and excitement for life, so that you feel good all the time. People say you can't be happy all the time, but when you get puffed, you change your brain chemistry to positive. You change your brain chemistry to happy drugs. Now, the neuroscientists and the psychologists and psychiatrists don't like to call it happy, because it's some kind of rah-rah, ridiculous motivational word. I don't know why, because it seems that everybody's number one goal is to be happy. So if you want to feel good, if you want to feel satisfied, that's serotonin, the neurotransmitter that is produced at massive amounts when you lift heavy and you get puffed. Dopamine is a reward neurotransmitter. You feel good about life. Yay, I'm doing great things with my life. I feel excited about life. And the one that I like the most is brain-derived neurotropic factor, which is part of that myokine endocrine system, where the muscles send a message back to your brain to say, we need to be better for next time. So your brain then gets better and stronger and sends a message to your muscles, you better get stronger and better for next time. All of that happens in a 10-second period, and you don't go again until you're fully recovered. So it's the easiest way to exercise. It's the safest way to exercise. And I'm inside at the moment because it's really windy outside. The door's just opened all by itself, our big, strong, heavy doors. That's how strong the wind is. And I'm sharing that with you because That's probably the only reason I'm inside. Otherwise, I'd be exercising outside. I love fresh air and sunshine, and even when it's dark, I love moonlight and fresh air. I love sprinting in the nighttime. I love looking up at the sky and the stars. I want to live my life to the max every single day as a healthy, fit, strong person. And the only way to do that is to live your life your way. You need to move your body your way, not let some social media influencer tell you you've got to do 150 minutes a week or you've got to exercise 3 times a week. How often do you want to feel good? How fit do you want to be? How strong do you want to be? In those 4 questions, which are you performing at your best? Do you have a stack of energy? Do you love what you see in the mirror and the way your body feels to touch? And are you getting the results that you want from your eating and exercise plan? And if the answer is yes to all of those, then you are ready to live your life to the max. Ready, live your life to the max. Woo-hoo-hoo, live your life to the max, yeah.